Hello. Today we'll be discussing vocabulary words pertaining to the products of numbers by multiplying 10 or 100. Let's begin with the word multiple. A multiple is the product of a number. For example, if we take 8 and multiply by 1, we get a product of 8. If we multiply 8 times 2, we get a product of 16. If we multiply 8 times 3, we get a product of 24. We can continue the process forever. Every product that we get is a multiple of 8. You can do this with any other number times a given number, and the products would be your multiple of that number. Our next word would be product and factor. What is a product? What is a factor? Let's look at the equation 7 times 5 equals 35. 7 and 5 would be your factors. The answer, or 35, would be your product. How can you describe the pattern when multiplying by 10? Let's look at the equations below. 4 times 10 equals 40. 5 times 10 equals 50. 6 times 10 equals 60. 7 times 10 equals 70. 8 times 10 equals 80. Do you see a pattern? If you do, what is 9 times 10 equal? If you said 90, you are correct. The products increased by groups of 10. Each product can be found by multiplying the number times 1 for 110 and then adding the 0 from being a multiple of 10. How can you describe the pattern when multiplying by 100? Let's look at the following equations. 2 times 100 equals 200. 3 times 100 equals 300. 5 times 100 equals 500. 8 times 100 equals 800. 11 times 100 equals 1,100. If you follow the pattern, what would 14 times 100 equal? Your product would equal 1,400. The products increase by groups of 100. Each product could be found by multiplying the number times 1 for 100 and then adding the 0 from being a multiple of 100. Using place value understanding when multiplying by 10 or 100 could be very helpful. Let's take this equation. What is the product of 324 times 10? Well, let's look. If you use your place value understanding, you can see that you could break down 324 using your expanded form. By knowing the value of your 3, which is 300, of your 2, which is 20, and your 4, which is 4, you can multiply the values of each of your place value times 10. For example, you can multiply 300 times 10, which gives you a product of 3,000. You can then multiply 20 times 10, which gives you a product of 200. Then you can multiply 4 times 10, which gives you a product of 40. Once you have gotten your products of 3,000, 200, and 40, you would add those products together, which gives you an answer of 3,240. Using properties of operations when multiplying 10 and 100 could also be useful. So let's take this equation. What is the product of 64 times 100? Well, you know that 64 is 60 plus 4. You can then multiply 60 times 100. and then 4 times 100. And then combine the products of 6,000 plus 400 will give you an answer of 6,400.